Hey everybody, welcome back to day 2 of our club level stay at Disney's Wilderness Lodge. I was able to add club level at check-in the day prior for $150 a night. So come along with me and let's check out what our second day has to offer at club level at Wilderness Lodge. Every morning they always had some pastries that had apple danishes and carrot muffins this morning. Those apple danishes were really good. And they had croissants, they always had chocolate chip muffins, and then they always had the little plate of fruit there. They always had the smoked salmon, the hard-boiled eggs, and the toppings there as well. And then they also had the oats here. They always had those every morning. And then they also had this Greek yogurt bar every morning as well, with a couple fruit options and brown sugar, granola, etc. This was my favorite breakfast because they had these delicious cheddar biscuits. Those things were incredible. And then they had bacon and they had scrambled eggs. And then they also had oatmeal over here as well. And then of course you could top it with any of the toppings they had. They always have coffee, like I mentioned before, different milks. They have decaf and regular coffee. And then they always have the teas and hot cocos, etc. And then the coffee machine is always available to get a coffee. And then of course all the syrups that I showed you before. They also had a toaster, so you could toast up some bagels or toast or whatever you wanted. And then they had the little mini jams up top as well. They also had 3 types of cereal available, and then they had their tea, orange juice, and the geyser grog. Also, my husband was a genius, and he made himself a bagel sandwich. And I caught Goofy in the lobby, which was pretty cool. And then we headed off to the pool for a little bit. Our little guy really loves the pool, so we spend a lot of time at the pool, and they have a great splash zone and everything for the kids. And then here's the geyser going off as well. You can catch that going off throughout the day. So here we are back at club level. They have the yogurts in the fridge instead of the beer for breakfast and snack time. They always have that fridge filled with drinks for you to take to go or to drink there. And then here were the snack time offerings. So they had the pastries from breakfast, and then they had sugar cookies and chocolate chip cookies. Then they had an assortment of different dips every time with different crackers. Then they also had ranch dip with different veggies as well. They also always had these bags of chips available during snack time, and then as mentioned before, they always have the coffee machine, the teas, and all that available. They also had this fresh whole fruit, which I mentioned prior, and then they have these little bags of graham crackers out, and then they also had the same little snacks that were out for dinner last night, and then same with the drinks as well, those are the same. We enjoyed more pool time while we could, and then a storm rolled in, so we went back to the room and relaxed until dinner. And then here was dinner's options as before. There were the charcuterie meats and different cheeses, the ranch dressing, and the crackers, and the veggies to choose from. They had the marinated olives out, and then they had a chicken and chickpea salad, which was very good. I really enjoyed that. They also had this ceviche out, which was one of my favorite things for sure while we were there the whole time. That was really delicious. I had 2 of those. Very, very good. Then they also had this frigola salad. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. I'm not sure. That was very good. It was very, very fresh. Then they had this pasta with meat sauce, and I loved that. I actually asked if they were going to have that again because it was so good. And then they had the brisket, which, again, that was an incredible combo. This was my favorite night. And then they had rolls, which I wish they would have warmed them up because they had been sitting out for a while and they were pretty hard. And then here's the tomato bisque soup. They also had wine in the corner you could ask for. I think you could pour it yourself, I'm not really sure. And then they had the snacks there in the corner and the same drink offerings as well. Then an hour later, it was time for dessert. They had mint chocolate cupcakes and vanilla cupcakes. The mint chocolate cupcakes were one of our favorite. Wasn't quite as good as the blood orange, but it was very good. The strawberry peach cobbler, which was my favorite. Clearly today was my favorite of the days. They had a buttermilk panna cotta, a caramel ganache, and then they also had these chocolate tarts below, and then they always had the chocolate chip cookies and the sugar cookies and the ice cream sundae bar like I showed you last time. Thank you so much for following along on our club level stay. Make sure you follow me so you don't miss out on day 3 of club level at Wilderness Lodge. Thank you guys so much and have a great day. Bye, guys.